Okay, class, so we have a question, and it says, Derek was practicing basketball, and he had 48 basketballs and 29 rolled away. How many basketballs did Derek have left to practice with? Okay, well, there are many ways we can solve this problem. First, we must look at this problem and see what is it asking us to do. Is it asking us to multiply, divide, subtract, or add? If you said subtract, you're correct. Now, I know most of you would take this word problem and line it up and say 48 minus 29. And what you would do is you would look at it and say, well, 8's smaller than 9, so we have to take away from 4, make that a 3, carry the 1. 18 minus 9, well, that's 9. 3 minus 2, well, that's 1. So you got 19. But whenever you say we have to carry, we have to move this over, and all this stuff, what are you really saying? Because when subtracting two-digit numbers, knowing the correct place value is essential. Without it, you treat the digits as numbers as individual numbers that are merely lined up side by side. So you're telling me that 48 is a 4 and 8 next to each other. But really, 48 is 40 and 8. So let's start off by breaking this problem down. Solve subtraction by regrouping using a set model. So 48 minus 29 it is the 4 is in the tens place and the 8 is in the ones. And the 2 is in the tens place and the 9 is in the ones. So you're pretty much saying is there's 40 and there's 8 ones and there's 20 and there's 9 ones. So now I'm going to show you using base 10 blocks how to set up this problem. So whenever we're setting it up, the number we're going to make in the base 10 blocks is going to be the top number because we're trying to take away from 48. So in order to make 48 with base 10 blocks, let me show you how we're going to do this. This is called a rod. There's 10 single units inside this that make it a rod. So we know that this is 10, so we can say if we're trying to get to 40 in the tens place, we want how many? We want 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, let me look at my fourth one, 4. And we come to the ones place in the top number, right? Because we're only looking at the top number, and we see 8. So we're going to look at these cubes, which is called just a single unit. So we want 8 units. We're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, kind of like we were saying earlier, we're saying, well, we can't take away 8 from 9 because 9 is bigger than 8, and that is correct. So what we need to do in base 10 blocks is we need to do something called regroup. And so we're going to take one rod away, and we're going to replace it with 10 single unit cubes. So now I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to regroup. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I've had 8 to begin with, and I just added 10 more. How many single unit cubes do I have right now? I have 18 lined up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the bottom number. So I look at the ones place, and I see I need to take away 9 ones. So am I going to grab a rod? No, because that's 10. So I'm going to take away 9 single unit cubes. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And since we go from ones to tens, now I'm going to look at the tens, and I'm going to say I need to take away 2 from the 4. And so I look at that and I say, 2 tens, that's 2 rods. I'm going to take away 2 rods. So I subtract them, I'm taking them away. And what am I left with? You can see over here, I'm left with 1 rod. I'm left with 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I'm left with 9 ones. So if I have 1 rod and 9 ones, what do I have? I'm left with 19. That is my answer. So if you got 19, you're correct, and that is subtracting using base 10 blocks and regrouping. And there's another way I want to show y'all how we can solve this problem. That right there was a set model, what I just used. The next one is a linear model. How many of y'all have heard of line graphs before? Or number lines? A lot of people think of number lines and think of 0 and think they have to work their way up to 5, 6, or whatever. But really, what they don't know is that with the number line, there's this thing called break. You can draw a line, and that symbolizes a break, and you can start whatever number you want. So I started at 27, and I went all the way up to 50. And so I went from 27 to 48. That's a bigger number, right? And we're trying to subtract 29 from 48 right now. So if I'm subtracting, do you think I'm going to go to the left where the numbers are decreasing and they're getting smaller? Or do you think I'm going to go 48 and I'm going to go 19 places to the right? If you said to the right, that's where a lot of people have a misconception. They think it is to the right. But really, what you don't know is that's adding. So it's 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So it makes more sense when subtracting using a linear model and a number line that you want to go to the left, because that's where your numbers get smaller. And so if I'm at 49 and I want to get all the way to I'm at 48, my bad, I'm sorry. And I want to get all the way to 29, I'm going to have to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And that got me to 29. So how many steps do I have to take to go back to the left? I had to take 19. So now we know whenever we have 48 and go all the way back to 29, there's going to be 19 in between, which is pretty much essentially saying 48 take away 29 equals 19. So whenever we are asked the question, Derek was practicing basketball and he had 48 basketballs and 29 rolled away, how many basketballs was Derek left to practice with? I hope that you go back and you do the set model with the base 10 blocks and you regroup, or you can also use the linear model with the number line and move back to the left to figure out the answer, and that answer is Derek had 19 basketballs left. Thank you.